Sir, we've done everything we could, but nothing's working. What can we do?
That's it. We're going to have to go to our last resort.
But sir, that's too much power.
We have no choice. We're going nuclear. Hi, my name is Will Kelly. Today I'm going to talk to you about how nuclear power can solve the global warming issue. Now you probably already heard about global warming. You probably already know how bad it is. It's causing ocean levels to rise, it's causing natural disasters to become more severe, and it's just causing a general increase in temperature. Now that's not good. Now, the current goal for the world is to achieve zero carbon emissions by the year 2050. Now that may seem like an impossible feat to achieve. In fact, almost everyone in my survey said we couldn't do that. That's impossible. However, I'm here to tell you today how that impossible is in fact possible to achieve. Now, in order to achieve this impossible goal, we need the right alternative energy source to replace fossil fuels. Can you guess which one it is? Nope, not that one. Not that one either. I don't even think that one counts as an energy source. Yep, that's the one, nuclear power. So let's talk about nuclear power. Nuclear power uses the energy stored in radioactive elements such as uranium and converts all of that into massive amounts of energy. Now you may be wondering, hey, what about all that carbon dioxide coming out of that tube there? That's not environmentally friendly. Well, guess what? That's not carbon dioxide.
It's steam.
That means nuclear power has almost zero carbon emissions. Another pro about nuclear power is that it constantly produces energy, which means it's always sustainable. Unlike wind turbines or solar panels where if it's not windy or if there's clouds in the sky, it's not going to produce power. Nuclear power is going to keep producing.
But wait, aren't nuclear reactors dangerous? That's a common misconception.
Now, due to events like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, people get the idea that nuclear power plants are giant safety hazards and could explode at any minute, which is probably why a lot of people want to live as far away from them as possible. However, Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island happened almost 40 years ago, way before modern technology. Today's nuclear reactors are much safer, and the chance of one blowing up is almost zero. Now, nuclear power is already sustaining 10% of the world's electricity. But that might beg the question, can it sustain 100% of the world's electricity? Well, I got good news for you because I'm going to let you on a little secret here. It can. Now, the truth is, uranium is not the only fuel that can power nuclear power plants. There is another. That is called thorium. Now I'm going to let my friend Sam here tell you everything you need to know about thorium.
Let me walk you through all the steps of nuclear power, and you'll see why thorium is so great. Let's start with mining. So when somebody doesn't feel like getting out of bed, they'll, whine and moan and roll over. Likewise, when uranium doesn't want to get out of bed, he releases deadly cancer-inducing radon gas. This means workers have to put up expensive ventilation systems just to, not die. Thorium's chill. You go to wake him up, he understands he's got a job to do. Goes without a fuss. And even when you do get uranium up, like the lazy bastard he is, he has much less concentration in his ore compared to thorium, so more work has to be done just to get the same amount of material. The Earth's crust also has much more thorium in total than uranium, about 3 times as much. So you got your ore, and you've extracted it. Ready for work, right? Wrong. You see, natural uranium mainly consists of 2 different isotopes, uranium-235 and uranium-238. 238 kinda sucks at life, so uranium has to undergo enrichment to up its concentration of 235. Uranium's kinda like that kid with ADHD, right? You got him in the building, but you still gotta give him his own little room and a couple Ritalin before he starts doing anything productive. That's expensive. Thorium, on the other hand, look at him. He's got his sneakers laced, glasses on, he's ready to go. No enrichment needed. Finally, you're ready to make some power. This part's important, kids, pay attention. So this is where the biggest difference between uranium and thorium comes in. You see, uranium is fissile, whereas thorium is fertile. This means uranium can do his job all by himself, just doing his thing all on his own. whereas thorium's kind of a cripple. He needs a little bit of someone else just to give him the push he needs to start releasing energy. This might sound like a bad thing, but if you think about it, it's a lot safer. If you've got your power production process started, and shit suddenly hits the fan, uranium's just going to keep going. You can try to move him around, cool him down or whatever, but at the end of the day, this man's going to be swinging, and it's not going to be a good day for anyone. Thorium, he's only got one leg. Piss him off, he takes a swing at you, just push him over, you're good. Please note, Salmonella Academy does not condone pushing cripples. And that's what thorium reactors do. They allow the barely radioactive liquid thorium to drain away from its helper in the event of an accident, so there's no way for things to escalate. Much safer. But while the process for thorium is better, most of the time people care more about the results. Well, it just so happens thorium is pimpin' in that regard as well. CERN estimates that 1 ton of thorium is capable of producing as much energy as 200 tons of uranium. That's a lot. To compare, that's also equivalent to 3.5 million tons of coal. But let's talk about byproducts. Thorium, being as pure as it is compared even to enriched uranium, produces about 100 times less nuclear waste. So whereas we might not have as many X-Men, that also means much less work has to be done to dispose of the material. Additionally, it's very difficult to make a nuclear weapon out of thorium since it can't do much on its own. The only thing that's really weaponizable about thorium plants is that little bit of helper material I talked about earlier. But overall, that's a pretty minuscule amount. That means we can feel a lot better about plopping these plants down in places like Iran. So kids, you heard it here first. Thorium is the future. Powerful, clean, reliable, and if things go wrong at the end of the day, you can still kick its ass.
As you can see from the video, thorium is basically a better uranium. But a better uranium is better nuclear power. And better nuclear power is a better sustainability. Now before I end, I just wanted to ask a question. Given the awesome capabilities of nuclear power and the amazing potential that thorium has, do you still think global warming is impossible to solve? Thank you, and have a nice day.